And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Solar Nations 2 as a Red Mars. We're still, to some degree, re-stabilizing since the beginning of the stream. Because at the beginning of the stream, we were up at 80, 90 stability. And that was just trying to digest all the United Colony places we got. We're still trying to recover the stability drop from that. And obviously spending stuff on other things at the same time. But yeah, let's go ahead and unpause, and we'll let some time progress. I apparently now have inherited some neural networks from someone, so we have some neural networks. That's not what I need. I need genetic material for finishing the terraforming. Up next is antimatter power. Which, if we can get some antimatter, is going to provide us even more energy sector levels, which is more stability. I'll need to set up 10 levels of antimatter collector. Or is it super? Oh, I guess the collector has to go in places where you've got antimatter to collect. Super collectors can go anywhere. Dyson Swarms is a world wonder. Probably has some requirements for where it can go. Also 50 energy cycles. Okay. Maybe it doesn't have any requirements anywhere it goes. That's powerful enough either way. Yeah, probably in 3 or 4 years we'll be stable enough that I will hand out a poll. Well, actually, nope, that's the monthly tick. Okay. Asian government is calling us to war against Korea. Apparently I'm joining a war against Korea. Apparently Korea does not control Korea. Okay. They're fighting the Koreans. Where do the Koreans exist? I would like to know where these elusive Koreans exist, because they're not in Korea. Or are they in Korea? They're just the same color as... No, South Korea is independent. It's very similar color to China. It's probably an independence war. It's probably what it is. They're trying to probably do their independence. I've been thinking about it. Yep, working on antimatter power. Did my colony finish? No, the colony's still going. Oh, I was going to hand out a privilege. Technocrats next. Technocrats next. I want to do one that doesn't cost stability maintenance wise. Project build cost minus, well, it's 2.1%, but still not nothing. Crony contracts then. Oh no, that costs stability. It's not much stability, but it costs stability. Go with this one because this one doesn't have any negative effects. Still gives them an opinion. Still gives them a little bit of power. I'm a little bit tempted. In fact, actually, I will. We're so close to getting up into the green. Let's reduce taxes to get into the green on most of our groups. Oh, a bunch of people are planning to join the war. Gain nothing, lose nothing. Give them a little bit of time before we go into the war on them. There we go. So that'll help stabilize us because more factions are happy. That is costing us a chunk of income. Decent chunk of income. Faction support 89. Really, the only faction that's grumpy is the aristocrats. And yeah, the more I look into it, probably the more I'm thinking we cut cronyism. Just because it's not enough to keep the aristocrats happy. The aristocrats are on the same tax slate as the technocrats, right? So we're at the point where I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to reduce the taxes anymore for them. Because then the technocrats are just too happy. Let's just cut that. Cut the cronyism. It actually provides stability because that was subtracting it. Okay. I've acquired the achievement Second Enlightenment, which is research antimatter power, which is apparently considered another dangerous technology. Antimatter reactor, antimatter warhead, Dyson swarm, super collider, antimatter collector, antimatter reactor. Up next is cybernetics. Replicator automation. Nanocomposite sector level plus 0.25. The cost of robots. Okay. Now, in the meantime, I would like to get enough power. Or enough antimatter going for the antimatter fusion. We'd like to run this. We obviously don't have that much antimatter, so we're going to source the antimatter. Oh, interesting. So that's going to be gapped also by... Well, the super collider is power-based. The only place I can put the antimatter collector before I go straight to the more expensive super collider. Construction... Antimatter collector, yes. The Jupiter belt. Okay, that's not going to be enough, but it's a start. And then we'll put a super collider here. On the whole super collider here. Mozambique is being attacked by enemy forces. Oh no! Philippines is wishing to make peace with us. They are negotiating on behalf of the whole alliance, as are we. We will accept, because I just don't want to deal with them. And it was... Okay, so... They were allowed to negotiate because China had managed to retake South Korea. So... I think as far as I am aware, we did not, as an alliance, lose anything. Other than the opportunity to continue the fight. Take more stuff, which we probably didn't need. Where is Dyson Swarm? Can't build insufficient resources. So presumably this is not a place I can build the Dyson Swarm. Presumably it has a specific place. Is it like the asteroid belts, or is it like one of the lower orbits? I don't know what the build requirement is for that. It's got a specific location it's got to go, probably. At the risk of taking a encoder hit, let's zoom out. Solar orbit. Probably solar orbit. If I were to guess, that would probably be where you put it, solar orbit. I'll think about that. I was about to say, the problem we're going to run into that is that we're going to need to rebuild the entire power industry. But the baseline of 50 to start is probably worth rebuilding the entire power industry in a new location. Okay, we're up to 73 antimatter, which is currently worthless because no one's buying it. Tax base 1.1. Oh, I guess these provide, some of these provide some bonuses, even if you don't use them. Looks like that provides tax base, provides some education efficiency. So some of these are probably worth hoarding. Could continue to build up here. Is going to get progressively more expensive. Oh, and yeah, I could build up here, but I can build only up one more time. Before we would have to go someplace else for more antimatter. I think I'm gonna go try to grab one of those Earth orbit sites and seeing if we can set up the Wonder there. The Wonder is presumably quite expensive. Also back up to 50 stability. Let's hand out another one of my privileges. This time it is the ideologue's turn. Well, if I'm going to build another monument, although this is... It's only 0.5% monument efficiency. Yeah, we'll just take a little bit of project build cost. It'll go up a little bit as they get more power from having that privilege. And then we just got this by agency to hand stuff too. Offense over defense. Ruling regional power, political power, okay. Oh, this is actually really cheap. We'll just hand that one out. Okay. Yeah, we just wait for stuff to stabilize again, and I've actually got some other stuff I probably want to modify, like here in this one. Accepted cultures I probably want to take to natalism. Sure, take that stability hit right now. With unlimited natalism. Ultimately natalism. Wow, I guess we have expanded quite a bit if the non-accepted cultures make up 75% of the population. Set the natalism as well. Put stability hit. And then who's the largest ones? Mozambique's 12, Yankee is 12. Japanese is 12, so we'll do Japanese and Yankee. National monuments and project count cost reduction. Go, and then we save up another 10 for the new slot, which is probably diplomatic. I can integrate another person. Just remember to check how the diplomacy was going. that away for the moment, and we let time advance. Colony's done. I forgot to build stuff in the colony. It doesn't happen to be the one all the way to the bottom, does it? No, probably not. That's the best we just got handed. So that's not it. Okay, that place is just not going to have a steel mill and habitation. It'll be fine. Next one. And again, at the risk of encoding lag, we're going to zoom out. Zoom in around Earth. We'll do solar orbit B. Don't ask me how we're finding iron in an orbit around the close to the sun. And construction. Sorry, it's 25% done. Pop back to Mars. The other thing we'll be building in the meantime is antimatter collectors. These have multiple levels, I guess. Oh, the region limit's 8. I can really stack it up, yeah. Okay, probably shouldn't have deficit or spent that much all in one go. I should probably have done them one at a time, but that should provide us with a decent amount of antimatter. Which will allow us to probably get the first antimatter fusion going. And back already in the positive, so that's good to see. And you're done. Research complete for heavy industry to make robots, cyber hybridization to make robots, or that's percentile though, so that buffs that. Brain control chip, use robots to reduce unrest, probably don't need that. Replicator automation, use robots to boost nanocomposite sector level, and then unleash scrap code, which we don't need to do. Although that's probably part of why things can be dangerous, why robotics is dangerous, because people can scrap code you. I wonder, I assume this is where we can put the Dyson Swarm. Yeah. Wonder Limit 1, 56 energy sector levels. It costs 57 million. That's with an 86% cost decrease. I still think it is worth it. Let's get it going. 10 years. We will have lots of power. Those new regions have been integrated, so we'll be stabilizing even faster going forward. Oh, I need to get more colonies going. Back to the expansion plan. Oh, that's scrollable. That would have been useful to know earlier. Well, I could definitely do with more Ice 9. Well, actually, not. I can't actually be doing much more with Ice 9. I need better Ice 9 deposits, which they don't have. Cryo-organics. We have no sector for that, so that's a little bit tempting. Don't have any of that yet. Don't have any of that. It's helium. I was hoping that with the scroll, when I discovered it, that I'd show me where I have antimatter possibilities, but no dice. Okay, it's probably anything like the gas matters. Also low solar orbit. Low solar orbit A. So this is the other side of the thing. We want the other side. Yeah, more potential for antimatter. Yeah, more power equals more stability equals me getting a lot of other things done quicker to improve revenue. Our prestige has declined a little bit. We were at 32 before, and we're now going up to 33. Twitch chat saying, oh, I'm sorry, I probably was a bit slow to responding to your chat message. You were saying Dyson sphere around the sun. No, it's like, yes, you are correct. I ended up figuring that out on myself before really reading the chat message. Sorry about that. My question, of course, was where around the sun? Where is the specific gravity well you put it in? And there's lunar solar orbits, which is where you put it, obviously, in hindsight. Not knowing that those were actually there was the sort of the mental problem. And yeah, this is another place where, in theory, I can do antimatter collector. So let's get the antimatter collector going. Raises the limit for magnetosphere antimatter by +2. Probably can only build 2 here then. Thinking about it, did I think I built the other one? I think we're 3 wonders deep now. Yeah, we're 3 wonders deep. Have that mental borehole. Lots of refining sector level, yeah. At some point I might want to do more resource capacity. I think that makes us get more industrial. Or is that this resource? That's a good question. Which, okay, industrial capacity. That might be these resource deposits. Okay. We'll pop one of those there, just in case. We'll find out real quickly. 1.2 years. Oh, I need a new colony. Grab a colony at Neptune C. It's got enough curiosities here. I might actually try to build up the research sector. Yeah, should be able to tell when the Dyson Swarm completes because it'll cause the energy sector jump from 30 to 50. Okay, you're done. Anyway, we got 18 curiosities here, so that's actually going to be decent university project level. We'll do space habitation into university here. And of course we'll get another colony going. Let's go back to just spamming everything on iron. industrial capacity. Cyber mastery, more resource capacity, 10%. Next up is synthetics itself. Population lifespan plus 20 years. Oh, you like me, and we're not in relations with you. Let's fix that. We're going to exceed 25. We're at 25. Or technically, because of the rounding, we're below 25. Oh, the enemy's got a bunch of defense. It's actually caps at 25. Okay. Getting called to war. European-Serbia war. Okay, we're at war again. Immediately escalates. Yep, they do. A little bit lower activity while we pay down the debt from building that wonder out. Serbia wishes to make peace with us. We gain nothing, they gain nothing. I'm gonna say no, because I wasn't the one who started it. I think the other side, or the other friends in the war here, could probably do some work in the meantime. Probably at a stability level where I can hand out some more stuff. Well, I'm in debt, so it's probably a bad idea to actually be expanding expenses right now. Policy changes, robotics law. Well, we are Marxists, so I should engage with more Marxist choice. State-owned, yes. Nanocomposites law. Nanomechanical equality. As well. Immigration is still borderless, which is a negative on the simulation. At some point we might want to change that, but for the moment it's fine. Civil liberties. State liberal, or state neutral there. Land colony administration, okay. Yeah, I suppose nothing around it here is where we're going to go next. Probably raising funding. I'm still reasonably profitable. Or actually, no, probably the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start revoking the privileges to get our admin efficiency up. Getting back up from 20 to 100%. done. I'm back on the metal train, so space habitation into steel refinery. Give me the next colony. By immediately having it a quarter of the way researched. Thick atmosphere, so that's something presumably you'd want to fix at some point on Venus. Diplomacy-wise, we're not at the point where we're integrating it yet. No. People that we got the opinion with to do are too big for that. Smaller ones they're moving in the right direction. It's just got a long way to go. Oh, big swing ideology, presumably because I went more Marxist, alienating a bunch of people. Fair enough. And then, how far am I off on building that Dyson Swarm Wonder? Was solar orbit B. 17 days. It's done. Oh, that provided more than I was expecting. Expected 50, we got 61. So that's a big stability gain. And we're not going to stop there. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. We're going to start stacking more power sources. Make it even bigger. So where's the antimatter reactor? It's going to reveal? Yeah. No, there's the nuclear and fusion. Suppose this might not be stackable with the, this might not be stackable with the antimatter one. We're missing a prerequisite. Somewhere I know I was able to build it. So we're here. Required resource nanocomposites. We should have. Might need to have some power sector in here. This might technically be classed as a buff. Oh no, I have not built it here either. Here's the antimatter. Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably classed as buff, so we probably need other power source. Either way, we start off in the next one, which is probably going to be fusion. I can't see, you can't get the antimatter. So it's cheap enough. We'll kill the nuclear reactor as well. This is something. Gives it something to do for 1.4 years. Keeps it busy. Productive. Just crossed 2 billion people, I think. Oh no, the rounding point's 1.5. 1.5 billion people. Oh, of course, I now have a bunch more industrial capacity to sell. Help us pay down that debt a little bit faster. Research complete. Synthetics. So population is going to live longer. Next tech in the queue is genetic engineering, which I need to finish the biotransformation of Mars. This one I should be thinking about what we're going to be doing in the culture tree. So I've got integration. So if we're going to go to war, we probably want to stack up integration. Rest reduction. So if we're going to go to war, probably want to stack that up. Kind of already doing the privileges, although this might lower the cost to keep the privileges. More resource capacity. That affects things like IS-9. It might affect IS-9. That would be useful. education capacity is never too terrible. More resource income, so it's more money, more development income. And suppose just more habitability, that'll help population growth-wise. Yeah, so let's think about not actually still going to war, so we want those, followed by those. How far are we actually off? Requires 17 tier 4 techs. Currently have 5. So once from this rung and this rung. That's the 5 we have. So I suppose it is back to culture. We're gonna have to dive into that rung, which is gonna take a while. So I'm gonna go into military. Okay. And then you do research. Basically grab the most economic-centric ones first. Oh, this is a technology from the previous era, so this is going to research really quick. The ones that come after it are going to be a bit slow, but this one's going to be pretty quick. Where is 8? We're saving up for 10 to grab the next one? Yeah. Yeah, suppose the sled on the towards more Marxist is alienated people we have not already integrated. Slowing down the progress. So let's start trying to make Mars a little bit more of a uniform red by assuming direct control. Oh, that button. Go. It's just immediately a... It's immediately, okay. Okay, so I think that is now a uniform... Well, except for the one nation we haven't conquered on the North Pole. A uniform... Oop, missed one. Missed you. Oh no. The one I had previously. Okay, that's fixed. Uniform. Reasonably uniform red Mars. I suppose the next place to contemplate doing that to is I could pop over to Europa for the same sort of concept. control. Okay, that should be boosting our tax revenue by quite a bit. These regions jump up to 100% administrative efficiency. And then Phobos was a colony from us. Next is Earth. We haven't taken anything. I suppose I can just go through the list. West Guinea, Pennsylvania, Mozambique, New England, Sudan. I'm watching the stability go down more and more because these are because the population's in more expensive places. Okay. We're going to wait for the stability to pile up a little bit again. There we go. Another dangerous technology. This time it's risk of eugenics. I'm gonna remember it's Sudan next, but come back to that. So orbit B has finished what it's currently building. Do you have access to the fusion reactor? Or the antimatter reactor now? Yes, you do. 11 more levels of energy sector. The measly cost of 112 antimatter users. This is a place that's making 134, so that's not a problem. And we'll follow that with the cold fusion reactor, providing us even more power and thus even more stability. Go. And here we got iron, so space habitation and steel refinery. Next spot. Iron, sort by iron. It's you, send colonist. Survey. Build infrastructure. You know, at the point where we can build up to 6. Get it 30% done, just showing up. Oh, and this is the place that's going to colonize faster? Okay, that's nice. Go. That colony is basically done. Yep. Space habitation into more steel refining. Next location, send colonist, send survey. Thorium. Thorium sample. Okay. It's a pretty fast colony as well. Have it selected at the end. That's a bit of a shame. Although I think that's a new place. Is that Neptune? No. That was a new place. We apparently had a colony in the area before. Oh, that reminds me. I have Neptune. I want to upgrade the university. We're already up to 5 research there. My current sector max is actually 7. So. And this goes up to 3, so yeah, we're getting a much better research sector level if I cap you out. Okay. Where was the new space? Oh, and you're waiting for more stuff to build, so let's get some more queued up here. You are presumably wanting to upgrade your power grid at this point. Do that into the power grid. At this point, we're starting diminishing returns, trying to boost power, because it's like +1 power for each power grid level. Although, already getting 2 stability gain for all the power plants there, so that's great. Yeah, not sure where that new colony is. Can I find it by looking at my unbuilt space habitation? So I haven't built space habitation there, obviously. Maybe. Yeah, it might be it. Yep, that's probably it. Yeah, thorium as well. Space habitation, steel refinery. Not so sure when we'll do this. The thorium, we'll just leave it as this for the moment. And back to Mars. Oh, before I let time go too far. Next expansion. Next iron location. Build. Survey. Build infrastructure. You're almost back out of the debt from building the massive power plant around the sun. Genetic sequencing, genetic materials factory output efficient or production efficiency 10%, so it'll be 10% more output on them. And when we do get around to doing cloning vats, we can do cloning vats. Just about hit 10. I think that's on the year tech, so we're going to wait until the end of the year. Add a new culture trait. I was going to add diplomatic. I don't think it's going to help necessarily a lot, but it's more than nothing. 20% more diplomacy capacity. Next one is +5 opinion, and then the last one is +10 opinion, so 15 opinion will help overcome being Marxist. And more assimilation and more integration cost reduction. And yeah, I suspect here we can't federalize a unit because we can't federalize with these two guys. Number 5 and number 7 can't merge with number 2. And we're growing. So soon we're going to break positive again, and that'll help raise things. Tax-wise, how goes the tax base? Oh, do I want to raise more happiness by dropping taxes, or get more taxes? Something definitely changed and I'm getting less revenue. No, I'm just gonna go more revenue. We're gonna raise taxes instead of lowering. That's a bit where I want it. From a happiness standpoint, that raised revenue. So we're up to 5 million, so we'll be positive real soon. I suppose I'm at the point where I should probably start doing other construction. So, construction, macro builder, space habitation, give me that everywhere. Yeah, some of these places might be like Earth, where habitation doesn't actually do anything because they're max habitation. Put it everywhere. Infrastructure. Really, I should be able to shift to this a bit faster. Okay, here's infrastructure built out. Wait until we get positive, and then it will be on to generating genetic material, terraforming, which is these guys. Development equilibrium, plus 5%. I think that's the last of, yeah, we're on to Unity techs, and our Unity research is pretty slow. So this is going to be where it gets a bit sloggy. This is a bit of a slow colony, for whatever reason. Start macro building these. Hopefully that is enough genetic material. We'll have to follow up some of the other buildings that buff yield. What I don't want to do is I don't want to have to do population harvesting. Yep. I got the achievement for discover genetic material and have at least 1,000 of it. So, some of those just completed, and we have 1,000 plus genetic material. To build up you. Yeah, it gets reasonably expensive fairly quickly. More power. Yeah, don't want to go more than that. That's getting a little bit expensive for diminishing returns. Your tax rate set to max, yes. That's where I want your tax rate set to, okay. And then here on Mars, do I have what I need for the terraforming? I have enough for one. That's a start. And no one's selling it. So it would probably get very expensive very quickly if I stopped. Well, actually, no, someone is selling it. I don't think I can buy enough. That's a different problem without it getting really expensive. Yeah. So I need 3 of those to terraform Mars. Oops, colony finished. Oops, daisy. I should be able to figure out which one it is because it's yeah, I should be able to figure out which one it is because I only have 1 space habitation incomplete. We're gonna have to level up the genetic manufacturing in the materials factories. Someone obviously. Okay. Not yet at the point where I can integrate any of them. Construction or expansion. Next spot is you. Send colonist, survey, build infrastructure. Oh, probably time to go do some more integration. So back to Earth. Done the Sudan. Done Zimbabwe. Japan. Portugal, North Japan, South Japan, Steel, Colonia, Galatia, from here on out, it's going to get a little bit more complicated because I've colonized a bunch of these planets. If I've colonized there, I don't need to press this button. If I haven't colonized, I press the button. Surprising number of these are integrations. These are pretty small integrations, so we're getting, in theory, getting a big benefit from this. But in the short term, it doesn't actually do a lot of, it's a lot of clicking, but it's not a lot of stability. Yeah, it looks like it. Problem with series. Everything, same with Mercury. Not with Ganymede. This is raising the maximum administrative efficiency. Administrative efficiency affects the tax rate. So I'm basically increasing taxes by a factor of 50, or by a factor of 5. So mostly, because most of these places, except for the Earth ones, were mostly fairly small population. Mostly this is going to be raising resource output. Resource taxes, although we got pretty high resource taxes as well, so. Seeing how tedious it is to do this. I don't know if there's a better way to do this in-game. I was hoping, when I was first thinking about doing this, that it would be, because effectively there's a puppet administration here, that integrating the puppet administration would integrate the entire puppet administration. It does not. That would be a lot less clicks. Instead, we take regions off of them one at a time. Okay, so that is all my puppet regimes in theory integrated. That's a question that I might try to answer for myself. What is the prestige effect? Not prestige. Not sure what the prestige effect is for having the army. I know army has prestige. I don't know how it is calculated. Because I'm thinking about deploying a whole bunch of troops just to have more prestige. And it'd be nice to know exactly how much return on investment I'm going to get from that. But... okay, well, let's grab more troops anyway. Okay, and we're gonna do that again. And again. Okay, that one's a bit weird shape and size, but that'll be fine. There actually a cap of... Our cap is apparently can't go over 2 million. Okay. It's a stack limit, apparently. I'm probably better off if I was actually doing any fighting to do a bunch of Space Force, but I haven't built the space fleet capacity to support that, so we're not doing that. You know, I'll build some space stuff anyway. Yeah, that's battle I can realistically deploy, so we'll do that. In fact, I'm probably importing. Yeah, I'm importing some at the moment, so I probably should have actually reduced the imports. That'll be fine. And we'll do a bunch of you. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use up my manpower. See how much prestige I can get just from deploying the manpower. Oops, I need to disband something just a little bit below the manpower limit. What is the smallest army unit I have? Okay, something a little bit more substantial than that, please. Bigger than that, please. Here we go. And then obviously, ceasing to export those resources should be very easy to do. Oh, I'm actually at the point where I'm importing again. Okay. We'll have to build up the industry a bit more, but we'll see how that runs out. What does that do as they train up to our prestige? We're now in first. They're not even at full strength yet. We are a superpower. Yeah, I suspect my ground forces that I just spammed out a bunch of is not the most impressive from a prestige standpoint. Again, I don't know how it's calculated. Although, maybe they're decent. Still got a lot of reinforcing to go. Yeah, I don't think that's enough before we bring the stream to a close here to bring about an immediate victory. Although it is going to fluff the numbers a bit there. Maybe discourage people from picking fights with us. They've been annexed by our friends, so we'll finish that war. Look at my war exhaustion going down. Oh, actually, that is quite substantial. So that's about on par with our economy. In fact, more than our economy. Still, not enough to win. We will have to do one more stream. Although, if we continue going the way we're going, it shouldn't be that hard, I suppose, to take victory at this point. If I didn't have encoding issues zooming in and out, I probably could actually just fight at this point, because you see how we've been able to guys I've deployed. Preferably storm the beaches of the Earth, and that would probably give us a decent amount of victory point or prestige. Yeah, we can see how much of the population we have. We're actually quite a far way off of having enough to do perpetual union, which I think is the solar, except all the colony or all the cultures' choice. Oh, and we are actually over 2 billion, so that's a good step. Don't have enough genetic material to grab. Not using any? I thought I built, Did I confuse what the bioformer does? Where's the bioformer? with no colors anymore, it's a bit hard to figure out where I am on good old Mars. Here's the capital, so the bioformer should be over here. Oh, the bioformer hasn't finished yet. That's what's going on. So the bioformer is pretty expensive, takes a while to build. It eats 1,000, so I technically have enough to run a second one. So let's get the second one building. They take long enough to build, apparently, that I have to build them ahead of time. So 3 of those, and we can finish terraforming Mars. Anyway, before I procrastinate too much longer, I think it is time to put a part break in. We have a little bit of debt, but we'll get out of that pretty quickly. I need to go do another round of acquiring genetic material from the Empire, but then we should be able to finish terraforming Mars. Because we've queued up the second of 3 of the third step. And yeah, well then we'll have a terraformed Mars with much more population capacity, allowing us to much more rapidly grow the population on Mars. Because we should have pretty much near perfect habitability at that point, except for the low gravity. And yeah, we got up to 53. The Alliance is up to 53% of all prestige in the solar system, leaving everyone else in the dust. So I don't foresee any real difficulty in the next stream getting to a victory state, even without any war. We might do some minor war just to do some like map painting. Some point it might be nice to finish off actually taking over all of good old Mars here, because we missed the last province. The northern ice cap is still independent. I think we have a good chunk of the moon, for example, so we might be interested in trying to take over what's left of the moon. Yeah, we got a big chunk of the moon, but we don't have everything on the moon. The United Colonies are still there. Thule is still up here. The Pioneers League's still up here. So there's a bunch of stuff we can go ahead and take over. But yeah, things are going well. If you're watching on YouTube, we will probably have another part recorded for you by tomorrow. If everything goes according to schedule, we should have done the next stream by now of this game. If you're watching on Twitch, let me go over the stream schedule so you know what's coming up. Also, if you're watching on Twitch, this is a good time to leave comments. I will try to respond to all comments that get posted between now and the end of the video. Well, now and the end of the stream. Obviously, I can't after the stream is done. But yeah, so today was Solar Nations 2. I wanted to see if we could continue to hold the Red Mars together, because take the greedy seizure of most of Mars from the United Colonies was very greedy, and it did pay off in the end. We were able to hold on to it. We did just about trigger the aristocratic crisis, but we were able to get that under control before it broke out into a full revolt. And we are pretty much at this point, we are stable and recovering. There's maybe a little bit of stability that I'll pay to do with some government funding, but the moment we're actually too spread out, really, for the government funding to be very efficient. So it's really expensive. But like, do we want to spend millions on things when we're only making millions profit? I think the answer is no. I think I need to build up the industry more, so I can afford to do it. Yeah. The upcoming schedule, today was Solar Nations 2. Got sidetracked here going over the schedule. Tomorrow will be Solar Expanse. So that's a space colonization management game. We've been playing it for about 4 hours a couple days ago. We'll be back to playing it again. We're at the point where I think we're going to be trying to expand bases beyond Mars. There's also an achievement for getting 1,000 people on Mars by 2050. I think that is very doable, and we'll probably try to do that with pretty much fission power alone in the next one. Sunday will be the Songs of Six. We'll see if we can continue to get the city to grow. It would be nice to get up to the last title level, which is 12k with 100% submission, 100% loyalty. What we're going to be mainly seeing during the next stream is that we sort of get stagnant past 8k. If we end up really stagnant and not really making any progress, that'll probably be the last stream of Songs of Six on that city. And then Monday is when we will be back to Factorio. Going to continue Factorio on Monday. And then next Tuesday is when we're doing Songs of Six. So hopefully everyone has been enjoying, whether you're watching this live on YouTube or later on, or watching it live on Twitch. Obviously, I'm tired. It's time to bring the stream to close. Watching it live on Twitch or watching it later on YouTube. I hope, again, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and bye for now.